A robot in China just threaded a needle and completed full hand embroidery in front of a live audience. Not a pre-programmed stunt. Real time. 2 hands. Soft fabric. Tension control. The kind of task engineers said was still years away. But that's just the surface. Because while that was happening, humanoids started replacing factory workers at scale. A robot dog sold out in under an hour like the latest iPhone. And one of the most famous robots on Earth is about to debut at the biggest tech event of the year. This isn't hype. This is the moment embodied AI stops being a research project and becomes infrastructure. And it's happening faster than most people realize. On December 22nd, TAR Robotics put a humanoid on stage and had it do something most people wouldn't even notice as difficult. Hand embroidery, it sat down, threaded a needle, used both hands. Stitched a logo, live, no editing, no safety net. And if you've never tried threading a needle yourself, this might sound trivial. But here's why engineers inside robotics immediately understood what just happened. Thread stretches. Fabric deforms. Every movement requires force adjustment in real time. One miscalculation and the thread snaps, or the stitch misses entirely. Industrial robots can lift tons. They can weld metal. They can assemble car frames with millimeter precision. But soft materials, that's been the wall. Because soft objects don't behave predictably. They change shape. They resist in ways that shift constantly. And for decades, tasks like this were considered off-limits for automation. This kind of manipulation is closer to surgery than assembly. It's not about strength. It's about continuous judgment under uncertainty. Not anymore. The robot moved smoothly through the entire sequence. Both hands coordinated. Visual tracking locked on the needle and thread. No hesitation, no failure. That's not just motion control. That's embodied intelligence functioning as a complete system. And once you can do this, you're not just talking about embroidery, you're talking about wire harness assembly, precision electronics, fine mechanical work. All the tasks factories still depend on human hands for. Because humans are still cheaper and more adaptable than machines. Until now. So how did a company founded in February 2025 pull this off in under a year? Their CEO, Dr. Chen Yulin, explained their approach at the event. They call it the Data AI Physics Trinity. Instead of treating data collection, model training, and physical robots as separate problems, they connected everything into one continuous feedback loop. They collect real-world operational data through their SenseHub platform. That data feeds directly into their embodied AI model, the AWE 2.0 engine. But here's the critical part. The model isn't trained to perform one specific task, it's trained to learn general physical skills, balance, coordination, force control, vision under uncertainty, skills that transfer from one job to another. And their chief scientist, Dr. Dingwen Chao, confirmed that success rates jumped across multiple different scenarios just by scaling data and refining the architecture. Classic AI scaling laws. More data, better performance, broader capability. But what matters most is something Chen emphasized that most people overlook. The sim-to-real gap is small. What the AI learns during training actually carries over into the real world. That's why the robot held together on stage under real conditions. And it's why TAR Robotics raised $120 million in their angel round, then another $122 million immediately after. Investors don't write those checks for demos. They write them for deployment timelines. Now, while that was happening in China, something else dropped in the US that showed how far humanoids have come in everyday settings. December 23rd. Figure AI's CEO Brett Adcock shared a video interacting with their latest humanoid, Figure 03, in a completely unscripted moment. He asks where it was built. It answers, San Jose, California.
I was built right here in San Jose, California.
He asks which generation it is. It responds clearly, 3rd generation, most advanced features.
There are 3 generations of Figure robots, and I'm the latest one.
Then he tests visual recognition, asks for medium and large shirts from different baskets. The robot identifies the sizes, picks the correct baskets, and hands them over without error. Under the hood, this runs on Figure AI's Helix model, a vision-language action system where perception, understanding, and movement are tied together in one loop. No rule-based programming, just end-to-end learning. But people watching noticed something immediately. The robot pauses 2 to 3 seconds before answering. One commenter joked it felt like dial-up internet. Another asked how Chinese robots compare. And that reaction points to a real unsolved problem in humanoids right now. Speech latency. Even when perception and manipulation are solid, conversational timing still feels off. The robot hears the question, processes it, generates a response, then speaks. Every step adds delay, and humans notice it instantly. This isn't a fundamental intelligence problem. It's a systems bottleneck. As more reasoning, perception, and speech move on device, those pauses collapse fast. But here's the thing. Figure 03 isn't weak. It's smaller, lighter, safer. It has mesh fabric and foam padding to reduce injury risk. It runs faster than most humanoids, and it recharges wirelessly through coils in its feet. Speech latency is still a problem, but the rest of the system is already outpacing expectations. Then, almost at the same time, something happened in the consumer space that caught everyone off guard. Vita Dynamics launched an AI-powered robot dog under the VBot brand. Price: roughly $1,368 as an early bird offer. Within 52 minutes, over 1,000 units sold out. That's not hype, that's real consumer demand. The launch hit number 7 trending on Weibo within 5 hours. Live streams passed 10 million views. For a consumer embodied AI product at a 4-figure price point, that's a massive signal. What makes this robot dog different is full autonomy, no remote control, no constant human input. It runs 128 trillion operations per second of on-device AI compute, uses LiDAR and depth vision to process everything locally for privacy, self-developed motors with serious torque, can tow up to 100 kilograms, 5-hour battery life, wireless charging plus 240-watt USB-C fast charging. The founding team came from Horizon Robotics and Li Auto. The design borrows heavily from EV architecture. Public beta testing starts this month, batch delivery in March, and that early sales spike is being treated as validation. Consumer-grade embodied intelligence isn't coming, it's here, and people are buying it at scale. But while robot dogs were selling out online, humanoids were quietly replacing people on factory floors. CATL, the world's largest EV battery maker, just launched what they're calling the world's first large-scale humanoid-powered battery production line. The humanoid is called Xiaomo, developed by Spirit AI, a startup founded in 2024 and backed by CATL. Xiaomo handles end-of-line testing and internal resistance checks. Final quality control before battery packs ship. Tasks that used to require humans manually connecting high-voltage test plugs. Risky, inconsistent, prone to error. Xiaomo uses an end-to-end vision language action model. Strong environmental perception, precise force control. It handles uncertainty, adjusts posture in real time, inserts and removes flexible wiring harnesses without damaging components. In production, Xiaomo achieves over 99% connection success, matches the cycle time of skilled human workers. It monitors connections continuously, reports anomalies in real time, cuts defect rates. During downtime, it switches into inspection mode. And according to CATL, Xiaomo now delivers nearly 3 times the daily workload of manual labor while staying consistent and stable. This isn't a pilot program. This is deployment at scale. CATL controls 38% of the global EV battery market. In China alone, they hit 43% market share in November. When the largest player in a critical industry starts replacing humans with humanoids, that's not a test. That's infrastructure. And finally, one of the most iconic humanoids in the world is about to step onto the biggest stage it's ever seen. Atlas, developed by Boston Dynamics, backed by Hyundai Motor Group. First live public demo at CES 2026 in Las Vegas. For people who've followed robotics for years, Atlas represents decades of progress. From early MIT Leg Lab experiments to modern humanoids walking into factories and trade shows. Hyundai acquired Boston Dynamics in 2021. Since then, they've been integrating robotics into their long-term growth strategy. Atlas has already been running pilot demos at Hyundai's EV plant in Georgia. And Hyundai just announced roughly $34 billion in AI investment from 2026 to 2030. They're building a robot manufacturing plant in the US, capable of producing 30,000 units a year. This isn't a PR stunt. This is Hyundai positioning robotics at the center of its future. And Atlas, the robot that once did backflips for YouTube views, is about to become a production-ready platform. So here's where we actually are. A company less than a year old just demonstrated dexterity that was supposed to be years away. Humanoids are replacing skilled factory workers at the world's largest battery maker. A consumer robot dog sold out in under an hour like a new smartphone. And the most famous humanoid on the planet is about to debut as part of a $34 billion robotics infrastructure play. And for the first time, labor replacement isn't theoretical. It's operational, measurable, and already priced into corporate strategy. This isn't the future arriving slowly. This is the moment embodied AI stops being R&D and becomes the physical backbone of industries we depend on every day. The question isn't whether this is happening. The question is how fast the rest of the world catches up. Because the companies moving now aren't waiting for permission. They're building the world everyone else is going to live in.